The name of the game is AWS Certification. I want to welcome everyone who's attending this morning. We'll be sharing this webinar again at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So if you have any friends that you want to suggest attend the event, please let them know about that. And again, my name is Rick Flath. I'm the Senior Partner Manager to TLG Learning, and I look forward to taking you on this journey of the name of the game is AWS Certification. So with that, let's begin our journey, and I appreciate your time. You have questions, please put them in the chat window because everyone is muted, and I'll be able to answer those at the end of the session or along the way. Thank you so much. So the big question is why? Why is AWS Certification the name of the game? And as you read this document paragraph here that I put together for you guys based on the CompTIA Cyber State of 2001 report, notice some key factors here. US for skilled IT professionals at 12.4 million for 2021. They need a lot of people, and that's important to you. It's projected that new tech jobs being created will be 245,500 this year. Combined with the 3.9 million employer job postings last year in 2020 during a COVID pandemic that we're all experiencing, which is hopefully coming to normalcy for you now. But again, the best way to compete for these jobs is having the experience and the certification to document and validate your skills. And this whole webinar today is about one thing: the opportunity and impact for you and your career in the IT market. So join me today as we go through this journey and learning and understand why AWS Certification is the name of the game. So our agenda, as you read here, is really simple. What is AWS Certification? I like to start with the basics there. And then from there, build why AWS Certification. I want to give you the nuggets and information why it's important to you and how it can help you build your career. The benefits of getting AWS Certification. What does it mean as an outcome if you get certified with AWS, and how it can impact your career? The roadmap, of course, that's really important. What's out there in certification with AWS? And then the potential impact. Top 10 certifications in the market today, and I have 3 different groups that I leverage to bring data to you in that regards, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end. So let's start. What is AWS Certification? So every organization and vendor has some type of level of certification to validate their skills. From AWS perspective, they believe that experience combined with training, combined with certification prep, and then getting certified is what's going to allow you to gain those credentials. So in this case, Amazon Web Services has developed various offerings to validate your skills in the various areas that they offer. And from this slide, you'll see there's a foundational level that is available. So there's a cloud practitioner. We'll talk about that later more in detail. There's an associate level where you have an architecting, developer, and sysops path. And so from that standpoint, when you think about it, they have 3 different tracks available for the technical people to move forward in their career. Then there's a professional level. So that track from associate goes to architect or goes to the DevOps. And that difference is architecting stays in line with the architecting path, and the developer and the sysops drive right into DevOps because of the roles and responsibilities they have. And then there's various specialty exams that are available out there as well. And so in that regards, they're going to validate you on a security, if that's your role or responsibility, or databases, or data analytics, or machine learning, or advanced networking. These are the key ones that you'll see, and if you notice there's a link here, so you'll receive this recording, you'll be able to look at the link and be able to take advantage of it, and then go out there and look at AWS's website directly, and you'll see all this information there for you that's built out in a way that will allow you to make this journey a reality. So we know now what is AWS certification. It's a vendor way of validating skills and experiences. But why? Why AWS certification? You know, we all go through a journey. And I remember in my military days, I retired from the Marine Corps, and I had various training I went through and certification or testing I had to pass to do certain things, especially as an infantryman. And you know what? You pass those things and you validate your credentials, and it just helps you with your career, your advancements, and everything else. And it was very rewarding for me. This is the same thing like for the Boy Scouts. You know, if you become a Eagle Scout, you have to earn the badges and you have to do the final project and present it and everything else to become an Eagle Scout, because then you go in front of a board and they validate it. So certification is a way of validating your skills and knowledge and abilities. And here, if you see this data that we provided you in this regards, stand out among the competitors. The competition out there is huge. AWS is currently achieving year-on-year growth of 43%. There is a high demand for AWS professionals who know the technology, who understand it from either an architect role or a developer role or a operations role, and have certifications to support it, or the specialty areas that we talked about. Again, it's faster to find a job. And when you think about it, AWS controls 33% of the cloud computing market. And you might ask yourself, well, what do you mean only 33%? That's a big market. Well, the others that are out there, like Salesforce, like Microsoft with their Office 365, they have a big share of the software as a service in the cloud market. But when you think about infrastructure as a service, and you think about PaaS as a service, so platform as a service, AWS is the leader. And it's really huge in that regard because they're just doing things, they're innovating. They've been doing cloud services since 2006. Microsoft came on board in 2014, end of 2014, then Google a few years later. So the advantage they have in infrastructure and platform as a service and what they're doing to innovate and drive their technology and to serve customers is huge. I always want people to remember, going to the cloud is all about taking a business from a capital expense to an operational expense. That's the key goal, to reduce costs and innovate. Spend more time innovating, developing business ideas, and launching them, and spending time and allowing yourself to allow the cloud to allow you to get there. But the certification is the way you make it real, because you need to validate it. Now, the other flip side is higher paying jobs. And we all want to make more money, you know, and be able to provide for our families. And when you have a almost 26%, it's 25.9% opportunity for you to gain in your industry, and then have an income of 113,932 by average, there's a lot of opportunity there for you. So that why is really compelling, because you're standing out. You can find your job faster because there's just demand out there. You can make more. But again, the thing I have to ask you is this: is an investment in your career and your future worth making? Because you've joined today and you want to make an investment in your career, but you need the tools to get there. You need to understand the value, the opportunity, as I said at the very beginning, to make it a reality. And this is what it's all about, the why. It's there, and all you got to do is take advantage of it. So moving forward, our next topic is going to be the value of getting AWS certification. So you know the what, you know the why, but what's the value to you? And I'm going to let you guys read this first paragraph here. It's a couple sentences. And the reason I want you to do that, because again, as you look at that, this is from a company's perspective what they're looking for. You know, as you read this, 97% say their organization employment of such staff puts their company in a better competitive position to succeed over the next 3 to 5 years. Companies need IT professionals who are validated in their skill sets, who have that experience and are able to go out there and deploy and support their initiatives. And with the cloud reducing costs based on that transformation they go through to go from on-premise to the cloud and go from capital expense to operational expense, it's important that they have individuals who are skilled in those roles. And again, if you look at this, the why, the staff achievement of AWS certification bolstered operational advantages, including helping organizations complete cloud projects faster and improve workload security. So that advantage that you bring to the table, the value you bring to the company is huge. And again, here's some of the respondents of the AWS certified staff, what they said. And those numbers are alarming. Everything's above 85%. And again, I'm not going to read each one for you, but I want you to think about that. AWS certification stands out, and there's a need, and you have a huge opportunity for yourself to make it a reality. From being more productive, to being able to make sure the delivery of projects are on time, to providing that security wraparound of the environment effectively. We all know about breaches today. Hey, we just had a major oil pipeline get hit earlier this year, and they had ransomware on it and everything else. Again, no one wants to be hacked. So again, security is a huge part of it. Troubleshooting, repairing things. I don't know if many of you remember, about 8 years ago, they had one of those Super Bowl events, and of course, they did all those ads during the halftime show, and those ads, they're just going, and all of a sudden one of these companies, the scalability got slammed because everyone was hitting their ad that they were presenting, and all of a sudden their systems went down. It crashed. They didn't have the load balance and the scalability and things that they needed. And I can tell you this, they lost money. IT provides a service to business to grow the business. Certification provides you and the company a validation and ensure you can do the job effectively and help them grow the business and innovate in more things. So now we've covered my favorite ones up front, the company. We've talked about it, but why you, the individual? And this gets personal now. This gets it from your perspective. And again, professional credibility. Number one, I know it personally. I have multiple certifications that I got since I've been in this industry, from learning and development after I retired from the Marine Corps, from NT4, now I'm aging myself, to Windows 2000, to Office 2000, 2003, 2007, to ITIL 1.0 when it first came out, to Agile, Kanban certification, to Cloud Practitioner level for AWS. It's all there. And those things were my professional credibility documentation that I did in my career in helping people develop learning plans and solutions in the training industry to support those investments they made in applications, either as an individual or as a company. But you also got that personal satisfaction. Think about it. How do you feel when you accomplish something, when you've hit that mark? I remember when I retired from the Marine Corps, I wanted to get my college degree. And so I started that journey right away. And I remember in 3 years, I completed that college degree, working full-time and going to school full-time, graduating with 3.96 average, getting my Bachelor of Science degree in Organizational Administration and Education from a private college. knowing that investment that I made was completed. And it was my big door, along with the other certifications I've gotten, to get me to where I'm at today in my career as Senior Partner Manager for TLG Learning. Salary, that's also a big one for everyone. I don't know anyone that doesn't like to get paid well for what they do and how they can contribute to a company, but your salary is a big part of this. And of course, as you grow your career, things change in companies. Today, I've noticed that many of the younger generations, every 2-3 years they're trying to grow their career and going to other companies. Well, this certification that you carry with you for your career will help you with your job search and allow you to explore other opportunities. Hopefully you can find the right job where you're at. I've had really two major jobs since I've gotten out of the military in 1992 in the training industry. One company got acquired a couple times, and then where I've been at now at TLG Learning for the last 6 years. And it's been hugely impactful in my life because, again, everywhere I've gone, it's allowed me to open the door and be marketable. And then the last part is then professional growth. Everyone wants to advance their career. And again, it often requires for you to learn new technologies and to enhance your skills that you currently possess. I always tell everyone, learning is all about what we do each and every day until the day that we die. Because if you don't learn, you don't grow. And growth opens the door. So again, the professional credibility, the satisfaction, the salary, the job search capabilities, and expanding your horizon, but also your professional growth, are values to you that you get from certification with AWS as an individual. Now we're going to spend a little time here now because AWS Certification Roadmap is a huge part of it. And we're going to review this. And again, I'm using this chart. It's right off the AWS website to really talk about each one and help you see the journey that you have across the board. So again, the foundation level, if you notice, first of all, it's cloud practitioner. And the cloud practitioner is really designed for those individuals who want to validate their overall general knowledge of AWS, its platform, the different services it have. And by the way, there's like 44 different key services that are used day in and day out. And there's 148 that are leveraged by companies. But you know what? There's over 5,500 different services that AWS has since the innovation started back in 2006. So the cloud practitioner for a business owner, for a business analyst, a project manager, a program manager, a person who is in operations is not really doing the technical work, or a sales or marketing person is there to help you understand what is AWS, what are those compute things that they talk about, or networking, or the data, the storage or security, and how it all ties together. And again, it's good for the technical team. However, on the flip side, that foundational level for the technical track, which is really the architect as you see above there, and the operations and the developer, is Tech Essentials. They have a different one-day course that's available. So there's the Cloud Practitioner course, which is 1 day, or there's the Technical Essentials for those who are doing the technical heavy lifting from an architect, developer, or operations perspective. So the foundation is there. And the other thing that AWS did, they didn't put certifications to them, but they provided foundational training for those who are going into the security specialty. As you notice on the right-hand side there, they have a Security Essentials course. So all their essential courses they have are designed to give you that foundational level. There's also a Business Essentials for people who are business people. But again, they don't have certifications for them, but it gives them that kickoff and the start to understand the business aspects of AWS and what it means to them from a business perspective. So we've covered foundational. A 1-day course, Cloud Practitioner, or Tech Essentials. Tech Essentials can help support your cloud practitioner. So if you're technical and you're trying to grow that career in a technical realm of architect, operations, or developer, and then eventually getting into the specialty areas. But now you've completed that and you want to move forward. That next level is the associate level. In the associate level, if you notice, 1 year of experience. You really do need to have experience before you go for the exam. You know, AWS's mantra is this: experience combined with training combined with exam prep equals certification. No one can just take a training course and just pass. It's not designed that way. It's designed that you really have knowledge that's going to help you obtain those skills. And each one will have, for the associate level or the professional or the special or even the foundational cloud practitioner level, will have a domain knowledge guide of information that you need to know. And in those areas, there could be 4 or 5 or 6 different domains that you need to know in that area for that expertise, for that certification. And the areas they're going to focus on. That experience and training that you bring to the table will also need to be reinforced through white papers and fact sheets and additional materials, and practicing. Because you know what? The tests aren't easy. And I know for a fact that they're not easy because I put a lot of work into it. I waited 18 months before I went and did my cloud practitioner in my role and everything else, and then did the training. And then I studied over the weekend, and I passed it on Monday. So in 5 days after doing the training, I completed my journey. But again, that's typical for someone in the cloud practitioner. But the architect, a year of experience. For the operations person, a year of experience. For a developer, a year of experience. So you can really have the skill sets and knowledge to make it rewarding and effective. And then from there, you can grow your career. Again, the tracks focus on professional or DevOps. And that professional level, now you're looking at 2+ years of experience. And again, what you're focusing on here is that design element now and operating and troubleshooting the cloud solutions from that role. Again, everything we see here with AWS is role-based, based on your role within an organization. And so as we all know, being a solution architect, you're the one designing, developing, deploying, and being creative in what you're putting together, working with business within your organization and with the development community, because you have apps running in the cloud. And that DevOps engineer, that's that life cycle from start to finish of applications are running on the cloud. And again, you need to have all that understanding. And the training behind that, you should have a system administration or a developer background before you go there, or both. You need to understand the best practices of the DevOps engineering patterns that you'd work with. There's advanced development skills that you should know as well. So there's a lot to it. But again, it validates it. 6 months, 1 year, 2 years for those various certifications. And again, what we do at TLG Learning, we build out a whole roadmap for you and provide you the tools through training and exam prep and validation of your experience to make sure you can make that journey a reality. And by the way, I want to be upfront with everyone, because in April of 2019, what happened, there was a change. It's not required that you take things step by step. You don't do cloud practitioner and then jump into associate, then go to a professional. If you have the skills and you've been working in this industry and you can validate that for yourself by looking at the domain knowledge that's going to be tested on, you could do the training for the professional and bypass the associate level. But keep in mind, every 2 years you need to renew your certification. That just came about recently as well. So we've talked about the key tracks for certification: the architect, the operations developer, but now there's specialty. And specialty is really simple. It's really all about focusing on a specific role and deliverable. So when you think about security, security is the wrap around those applications and around your environment of your network, your compute, your data, and your storage, so it doesn't get breached. and that it supports how you support your clients through the cloud. And so that you're protecting everything that you have there from those areas. And that security is real important. By the way, you should have a background in security too. Many organizations have a security group, and they'll have a CISSP, the Certified Ethical Hacker. Those types of things really help as well. Along with, like I told you, there's a foundational one, Security Essentials, that's available to help you prep for that security exam. But you also need to have a strong general background in architecting. The track shares on AWS that you should have the essential background, experience in security and subsart, and then architecting. Then you do the security essentials. So you need to have all these things in place before you take that exam, because again, now it's specialty, it's advanced. Again, the tools are there. So that track, keep that in mind. What we'll do is help you map all that out again. If you're doing databases, really, how do you run databases in the cloud effectively? There's various things that they have out there, from S3 to DBMongo to Lambda, depending how you're doing your business. We want to make sure that you have that, and there's an actual planning and designing course that's designed to support that database certification. But again, you should have a background in architecting. It's not required, but you better know the platform before you jump into that certification, because without it, it's very difficult to pass that exam. And then from there, if you skip up to the right upper corner, data analytics, well, this is all about big data. And you know, today that's huge. Business intelligence, having the ability to streamline and leverage information effectively. And big data is used day in and day out in all organizations today, for the most part, when you think about it. Because everything we hear about today is making decisions based on intelligence they have from the data that they have and evaluating that. And our companies need that. Well, big data for data analytics is huge. And again, from there, you should have an understanding of the AWS architecture platform itself. You should have a background with SQL, Oracle, any of the applications, because again, what you're doing is you're running an application like that in the cloud, but using the tools that AWS provides for storage and data, depending if it's running on a hosted environment. When I say hosted, a VPC that has all the different things for an EC2 environment for you with the data connected to it, or if you're doing a microservices type of solution where it's Lambda, and in that regards, it's different. There is no operating system. And then, of course, machine learning, when you think about that and working with Internet of Things and the fact that it's all about AI, artificial intelligence, and being able to calculate and do data across the board. And they have a tool called SageMaker that you have a class that you can do as well, which is one day on top of that. These certifications all are very specialized, and there's a roadmap to each and every one of them. And again, our job from a authorized training partner for AWS is to help you navigate from the very beginning through the associate to the professional to the specialty level, to help you grow your career, validate it through certification, and make that individual impact a reality in your value. Because again, it's experience combined with training, combined with exam prep that will equal that certification. So we covered the roadmap. So let's really just jump into it. What does it mean to you? What's out there? And you can see here, I've listed out 3 different groups that have done some analysis on the top 10 best cloud certifications for 2021. And so I looked at GK, a Skillsoft company, Geeks for Geeks, and Java 67. And you know, to be upfront, Java 67 is an open source group. So theirs is all about open source technologies across the board. Geeks for Geeks is really a group that's all about being geeky, as I would say it. And they look at it from their perspective, what's out there. And then, of course, GKSoft, a Skillsoft company, is a training company, and they do annual reports as well. And so what's the first thing that you see as you look at this is that all the ones that are bolded are AWS certifications. And the top one across the board, which 42% of the classes taken for AWS, is the architecting class. And based on that, 42% of the classes being taken by individuals worldwide, it's the #1 cloud certification, the associate level exam for the architect. Well, that puts you on the board right off the bat. So if you're in the architect realm from a network administration role for a company or your career, you're right in line. But what if you're a developer? What if you're system operations? Look at the third best one. Developer is #3 or 4, depending on what group documents. Look at this solution architect professional going to that next level. #2 and #10. Your opportunity is huge. And what I always like to say is look at the cloud practitioner from the open source. That skill set alone opens a door. So again, there's lots of opportunity here. And what we really want to convey to you is that it's there, it's real, but what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to enhance your career? Take advantage of what's here before you so you can be one of those individuals that fits into those numbers that we talked about at the very beginning, where there's over 3 million opportunities in the IT business and growth opportunities for IT professionals, and with 245,000 needed this year alone, and with 3.8 million job postings last year, what are you going to do to play the game? How are you going to make it real for yourself? Well, that's what this whole session is all about today. It's all about you and understanding the value, the opportunity, and knowing how you can get there. What we bring to the table as I close out this webinar is that we can help you build out a map, a journey to make that real. My call to action to you is to schedule a planning meeting with your account manager at TLG Learning to create your learning path to AWS certification today. Let us help you evaluate your experience, discuss where you want to be in regards to your career, map out the training goals to get there, provide you the tools to do the exam prep, because again, it takes exam prep, and then take the exam and earn those credentials, because that's what we do as a training organization. So I appreciate everyone taking the time. I know we blocked out an hour. I knew we were right around 35 to 40 minutes for this session. And again, do we have any questions that you want to put in the chat that I can answer for anyone? And again, you can see the other staff members here that you can reach out that are part of our team: Annette, Brent, Gary, Jane, Lindsay, and Thomas, as well as me. I'm our senior partner manager, and whoever you work with, I'll make sure they get that information. But again, we're here to help you grow your career and take advantage of the opportunity of getting AWS certified. Questions, everyone, if there's any? Again, please use the chat and I'll respond to you. Ned, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I did a lot of research to make sure I got you the up-to-date information. Again, you'll receive a copy of the recording of today's session. Again, if you have coworker friends that you would recommend, we have another session that will be starting at 12 o'clock today. Please let them know. Have them invest 35 minutes to learn about the value of AWS certification and what it means to you as an individual and why companies are looking for those certifications. I appreciate your time. If there's no other questions, again, have a great afternoon or morning wherever you're located. And thank you again for joining us this morning. Thanks, everyone.